Welcome to my channel. You're not just a viewer, you're the reason we're here. If everyone who watches subscribes, we'll build an awesome community. Your support drives us. Without it, we're nothing. So hit subscribe and let's make something incredible together. Thank you, let's dive in. The house burned in the dark, flames licking the wooden walls as Nolan stumbled out onto the roof, coughing through the smoke. His hands trembled, still raw from gripping the rope that had been his lifeline for so long. Below, the forest stretched endlessly silent except for the crackling fire. He could hear Samuel's voice, low, calm, almost mocking, saying, "She loves me more," as the glow of the blaze reflected in his brother's eyes. Nolan's chest tightened. How had it come to this? The ropes, the prayers, their mother's rules. All of it was supposed to keep them safe. Now the house was gone, and so was she. He slid down the roof's edge, landing hard on the ground, and ran back toward the cellar door. The heat stung his face, but he pushed forward, driven by a desperate need to undo what had happened. Inside, he saw her, his mother, standing in the shadows, her eyes soft but hollow. "Let go, Nolan," she whispered, reaching for him. He froze. She was dead. He'd seen her die. Yet here she was, pulling at something deep inside him, a mix of love and fear he couldn't shake. Then her skin began to melt, revealing the thing beneath, the evil they'd fought so hard to keep out. Nolan grabbed her, held tight, and felt it dissolve in his arms, leaving him alone in the dark. Hours later, he woke to the thrum of helicopter blades. A bright light cut through the haze and voices shouted over the noise. Someone lifted him, carried him up into the sky. His eyes fluttered open and he rasped, "Save my brother." A hand squeezed his shoulder. "He's here," a stranger said. Nolan turned his head and saw Samuel beside him, pale but alive, staring out the window with a faint smile. "We're free," Nolan whispered, watching the world unfold below. Roads, lights, life beyond the forest. Samuel's smile widened. "She loves me more," he murmured, and Nolan's stomach twisted. The Polaroid picture Samuel had taken as the house burned flashed in his mind. Samuel in front of the flames, a shadowy hand on his shoulder. Was it over? Or had it just begun? Let's go back days earlier. The forest was quiet, the air thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. Nolan sat on the porch, sketching Samuel with wings, free, soaring above the trees, eating whatever he wanted. Inside, their mother sharpened a knife, her hands steady, but her eyes distant. The ropes hung in coils by the door, their ends frayed from years of use. They were a family of three, tethered to a house their grandfather had built, a sanctuary against the evil that lurked outside. Food was scarce, the garden bare, and the water barrel nearly empty. But they had each other, and that was supposed to be enough. Nolan glanced at Samuel, who was sprawled on the floor, tracing patterns in the dust. "Did you feel anything when your rope broke that day?" Nolan asked, his pencil pausing. Samuel shrugged. "Nothing changed, it didn't get me." Nolan frowned. "What if it did? Would she get rid of us like she did with Dad? Or Grandpa and Grandma?" Samuel sat up, his face hardening. "She was protecting us. They were already gone, taken by it. She'd never hurt us." Nolan didn't push it, but the question lingered. Their dog Coda patted over, nudging Nolan's hand, and he smiled faintly. "What about Coda? She didn't save him." Samuel rolled his eyes. "It's a dog. The evil doesn't care about animals. Their mother called them to dinner, a thin soup made from tree bark. As they ate, she spoke softly, her voice carrying a weight they couldn't ignore. It came to me once as a little girl, crying for help, stuck in the woods, bones poking through her skin. I went out every morning to check, but I knew she wasn't real. Her screams lasted days, then her skin turned gray and she was gone." Nolan swallowed hard. "Why'd it do that?" She looked at him, her eyes sharp. "To make me doubt. To make me let go of the rope. It's patient. It waits until we forget it's there. One touch without the rope and it's inside us, inside the house. Never let go." That night, Nolan lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The house creaked, and he wondered if it was still protecting them, or if it was just wood and nails now. Samuel snored beside him, oblivious. Nolan thought about the ropes, the prayers, the way their mother's hands shook when she held the knife. She'd locked him in the cellar once after he'd stepped on Samuel's rope by accident, making him chant until the darkness felt far away. "Imagine the love," she'd said. "Fill the house with it." He'd done it, picturing them safe together. But now, with the food running out, that safety felt fragile. It happened a week before the fire, though it felt like a lifetime ago. The forest was alive that day, buzzing with insects and the rustle of leaves. Nolan and Samuel had ventured out, ropes tied around their waists, the other ends knotted to the house. Their mother was nearby, her own rope taut as she scanned the trees. They were hunting, squirrels, bugs, anything to eat. Nolan spotted an egg in a nest just out of reach. "It's too far," Samuel warned. "Could be a trick." Nolan tugged at his rope, testing the slack. "We need it." Samuel shook his head. "Don't." They argued, voices rising, until Nolan heard Samuel mutter, "She loves you more." Nolan spun around. "What did you say?" Samuel blinked. I didn't say anything. Furious, Nolan yanked Samuel's rope, sending him tumbling into a ditch. Samuel cried out, clutching his ankle, and Nolan's anger dissolved into panic. He blew the whistle around his neck, calling for their mother. She came running, her rope dragging behind her. Samuel's rope had snapped, lying loose in the dirt. "It's off," he whimpered, staring at a hollow tree as if something might crawl out. Nolan dropped his own rope to pull Samuel up, but their mother shouted, "Get back on the rope, now." Her eyes darted to the trees where a figure moved, an old woman hunched and grinning. Nolan froze, but their mother untied her rope, wrapping it around all three of them. "Hold on," she said, her voice trembling. The old woman circled, but the rope held, and they stumbled back to the house. Inside, she made them kneel by the cellar, pressing a knife to their backs. "Say it," she demanded. They chanted the prayer, voices shaking, until she lowered the blade. Later, as she bandaged Samuel's sprained ankle, Nolan admitted, "I stepped on his rope. It's my fault." She glared at him. "You endangered us all." Her hands softened as she turned to Samuel. "What did it look like this time?" she asked. "Like Grandma," she said quietly. "It's using her face now. Back in the present, or what was the present before the fire." The days blurred together. The new moon rose, a sliver of light in the sky, and they celebrated with music from an old radio dancing in the dim kitchen. Their mother hugged them tight, her warmth a rare comfort. But the next morning, reality crept in. She found Nolan sleepwalking, his bare feet padding toward the bathroom. She tied a bell around his ankle and tucked him back into bed, whispering, "Stay with us." Later, she untied 2 ropes from the cellar, weaving them into one long line for a hunt. She stepped outside, knife in hand, and froze. A crow pecked at something in the dirt, Nolan's body torn and lifeless. She blinked, and it was gone, just a trick of the light. The crow flew off, and she screamed, her voice echoing through the trees. She returned with nothing but tree bark, and they ate it in silence. The next day, Nolan felt the rope pull. He was gathering bark with Samuel and their mother when he turned and found himself alone. The rope yanked him toward an old well, his screams lost in the wind. Then he blinked, and it was night. The bell on his ankle jingled, waking him. No rope, just Coda bounding toward him. Then a hand grabbed his shoulder. He woke again to his mother's voice, sharp and frantic. "Say it," she yelled, a knife at his throat. Nolan chanted the prayer, tears streaming down his face, until she tied him up and locked him in the cellar. When she let him out, she asked, "Did the darkness go away?" He nodded, too scared to lie. That night, he whispered to Samuel, "We need to leave. Find food. Help her." Samuel shook his head. "The evil's out there. We can't." Nolan gripped his hand. "I'd let go of the rope before I let go of you." Their mother overheard, her face unreadable in the doorway. Years ago, before the ropes became their lifelines, Nolan had asked about the snake tattoo on his mother's back. They were gardening, the sun warm on their skin. "Got it in the city," she said, brushing dirt off her hands. "When I met your father, before the evil found us." Nolan traced the ink with his eyes. "I like it. It's from the old world." She frowned. "What's to like about a world full of pain? I didn't believe my mother either back then. Left home. But I came back. This house is all that keeps us safe." Nolan kicked at the soil. "What if it gets in?" She knelt beside him. "It'll make us turn on each other. That's how the world ended. But we're not alone. We've got each other." He nodded, but the doubt stayed with him, a seed buried deep. The food ran out. Their mother opened a box of trinkets, photos, a camera, and showed them a picture of herself, young and smiling in a world they'd never know. Another photo, the 3 of them with Coda, happy once. "One shot left," she said, setting the camera aside. "Wait for something special." Then she sat them down. "We're dying. The garden's gone. No animals. Water's almost out. But we have Coda." Nolan's eyes widened. "No," she pressed on. "We can salt the meat. Survive." He shouted, "Eating family is evil." She turned to Samuel, who nodded slowly. "We have to." Nolan grabbed Coda and ran, hugging the dog tight. His mother followed, prying Coda from his arms and dragging him to the greenhouse. She raised the knife, hands shaking, but couldn't do it. Nolan cut his rope, shoved her inside, and locked the door. "There's nothing to be scared of," he yelled. She pounded on the glass. "If it touches me, it'll get in. It'll make me kill you." Samuel tackled Nolan, and their mother screamed as the old woman appeared inside with her. She slashed her own throat, blood pooling on the floor, and whispered, "It'll never get in." Samuel tied the ropes together, chanting desperately, but she was gone. The boys mourned through the night. Nolan called for Coda, but the dog didn't come. He made tea, brought it to Samuel, who stared at him. "I saw you in the woods laughing. You didn't save her." Nolan shook his head. "You were dreaming." Samuel pointed to the floor. "Touch the wood." Nolan did, chanting the prayer. "I won't let you die," he promised, tying the long rope around his waist and heading out. He found a road, called for help, and met Cole, a hiker with a bag of food. Samuel arrived, weapon raised, accusing Cole of killing their mother. Cole backed away, but Samuel shot him. Nolan chased the wounded man, grabbed the bag, and returned with canned food. Samuel refused it, insisting it was a trick. "She died for us," he snapped. "You don't believe her?" That night, Samuel ate the food anyway, rummaging through Cole's things. He found a torchlight and shone it toward the greenhouse. A girl appeared, asking for her father. Samuel lied, but she saw Cole's body and ran. He chased her, letting go of the rope, and the evil attacked, twisting his mind. Nolan woke to an empty house, pulled Samuel's loose rope, and followed his voice. He saw Samuel cut his own rope and ran back inside. Samuel was there, listless, then lunged, locking Nolan out and setting the fire. Nolan escaped to the roof as the house burned, then faced their mother, or the evil, in the cellar, holding on until it vanished. In the helicopter, Nolan clung to hope. They were free, or so he thought. Samuel's words, "She loves me more," echoed, and the Polaroid's shadowy hand haunted him. The forest faded below, but the evil's reach felt closer than ever. Love had kept them alive, but it might have doomed them too.